fellas, I have no idea if any of this is going to work or not, but I'm just trying to, I got another rear end I can throw in here if this doesn't work. So if I ruin it, I ruin it, but so far it seems to be working. Flip this around and show you what I've done so far. Alright, so far I've popped that pin out with the press, and since I couldn't get that bolt out because I couldn't drill through it, I just went ahead and welded all the way around right here. Missed a little spot around the edge of the pin and then ground it down. Yeah, so it turns smooth, and then I just started welding up the rear diff, the spider gears. It's really hot, so I ain't gonna touch it, but you weld in there and there and there and down in there on both sides, on this side and then on the other side. I still have to finish welding up here. I ran out of rod. I'm using 7018 rods at 100. I was doing it at 130 amps, but it seems to be burning too hot, so I just turned it down to 120, and gonna see how that does to finish up this side. Then I'm gonna flip it over and weld the other side. All right, I just finished welding up this diff. It's got the brand new axle pins in it, and it's ready to go. I just got to clean it out and silicone the cap, get it on, fill it full of oil, and it should be good to go. It has brand new hubs and axles and everything on it. Shocks won't be in for another 2 days to get mounted on this, but seems to be working all right. I was burning a little too hot with the welder, even at 120. Turned it down to 110. It still seemed to be burning a little bit too hot, so it probably needed to be like 105, because it was actually starting to melt the ears of the gears off as I was trying to weld in there. But doesn't hit anything, spins good, no problems. So just need to get it cleaned out and then get oil in that sucker. I guess here it goes, huh? Let's do it. Alright, the diff's welded to straight posi. I got the cover back on it. I got it full of oil and cranked it by hand a few times, just by the end, and it doesn't seem to be leaking oil anywhere. That little oil drop there is from me. When I was taking off these rear shocks right here, I put a little bit of oil on the end of the bolts, but it's not actually leaking anywhere. So we should be good to go. Alright, I got it all sitting back underneath here again. Now I'm just waiting on the rest of the parts to come in the mail. And yes, I am missing a couple of bolts right there. I guess sometimes I don't know my own strength, and I snapped them off. So I just silicone the crap out of it. It's holding oil with no problem, so it's not a big deal. As long as it doesn't leak, it doesn't matter. So this is just a scrap rear end that I plan on destroying. And then later on I'll get a better one. But it should give me a couple of good passes, I'm hoping. I guess we'll see. Howdy y'all, are back in business. We're going to be having a lot of videos coming up because I finally got some stuff in. Put this around. Finally got the argon tank in, and my welder is all hooked up. I ran some, sorry about the mess there. I'll get it cleaned up one day. Ran like a few little beads. I'm not sure. It seems like they're kind of thick. Either I'm not moving fast enough, or I don't have the pressure in the gas turned up high enough, because I'm not really sure what pressure I should be running at. I'm gonna have to go watch some videos. But what I decided to do, okay, let me find out where I put it now. Oh, right here. I'm taking this flat piece of steel, okay, and doing exactly this right here with it. grinding it all down with the grinder to make it nice and silverish on both sides, and welding the shock mount right there. I welded all the way around on the inside and all the way around on the outside. And I'm also thinking about taking a drill, putting a hole here and a hole here, and putting a nut and bolt through it just for extra safety measures. And that's what I'm doing for shock mounts. Of course, this will get all sandblasted and then painted on the inside. So now that we're up and going with the welder, yeah, I still need lots of practice with my welds. I'm trying though. I know I suck at welding, it's horrible, but it's better than what they used to be. And when I go to weld my roll bar in, it'll be legit and legal, because I'm using it how the regulations are. If you're going to MIG weld it, it's mild steel, you can MIG weld it, which is what I have. It's a mild steel 10-point roll cage. So that'll get MIG welded in with the proper wire and all that it requires. And so it's legal, you know. I want to be able to get the cage certified. So that's the plan. But it's so far I'm kind of excited. I'm trying to get going on this. So I'm going to jump off here now, keep working on this, and when I get a shock mounted, I'll show you. Well, I screwed some stuff up and just found out that I cannot put these shocks in the front how I want them. I'm not really sure what to do at the moment. I'm going to have to go in and do some research and try and figure this out, because I just found out I can't put these coil springs in the front. Oh, let me turn around and show you. Alright, the old strut that was here bolted solidly here and here. It acted as the upper ball joint. Since there's only a lower ball joint, and that's it on this Mustang front end. So this acted as the upper ball joint, and now without that upper ball joint being solid, I mean, the only other thing I could do would be to weld this solid to that, but I don't want to ever weld on a shock again. I've only ever tried that one time and it exploded. So that is not my cup of tea. I'll show you on the other side. See how much of it, I don't know if you can see it from this or not, but it's at a real angle downwards like this, kicking this bottom back this way and this up here, because this is not adjusted into the right spot. See how these will loosen up, and then this will slide up on this sleeve. That could be done so that this comes back this way and lifts up this bottom. So I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I gotta go figure it out, because I mean, I would reuse these, but they're junk unless I could get a coil spring on them. But I don't have any seats for a coil spring. I have extra coil springs laying around, but second, I'll show you. But then I'd have to find some coil spring seats to weld in. And again, I'd be trying to weld them onto a shock, which I'm not gonna do. Yeah, I got some coil springs. I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go in the house, get out of this 103-degree temperature, and get some cool water down me, think, watch some videos, see if I can learn anything. about all I can do right now. I got to figure this out. Howdy y'all, back out here in the shop again. I'm not sure where I left off with the video, so I'm gonna flip this around. I got the front end all done. I did end up keep using those coilovers. Made a base for the bottom, welded them solid so they would act like a strut. So they're all on there, and that's where the front sits. So I am going to do some more reinforcing later, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to hurt anyone else or get hurt myself. So I'll do a little bit more reinforcing, probably drill and bolt on each side here, and make a more reinforced around the bottom of the shock base where it's all welded together as a solid unit and bolted into a shock mount. So do a little bit. Now my alignment's way off. Both tires are pointing out in the front like this, so I've got to adjust my tie rods, which is no big deal. It's nothing. Right now working on the back. I got the rear shock mounts welded on. I got the rear shocks mounted themselves, but that's as far as I've gotten so far. So that's kind of where we're sitting at the moment. I'm going to try and get the front suspension jacked up on the rear end and get it mounted, and then take the jacks off and see how it sits. That's my plan and what I'm working on right now. Alright guys, I'm short some parts. I need to get some steel. First of all, I only have 6 of those steel plates that came with my 10-point roll cage. I am supposed to have 10 of them, from what I understand, 1 for each point. So it was supposed to be 1 for each point, then they shorted me 4 of them because I only got 6. So I need to get those, and I could use those if I had 8 of them to finish the rear end, because I can cut out the design, the template that I need to bolt the rest of the rear suspension up. So if I get a total of 12 of those steel plates, that'll be enough to cover the rest of the roll cage and the rear end. So have to cut it off here. It's a weekend, so when I go and order it online, it's probably going to be the middle to end of next week before I get them. There's not a whole lot I can do without parts once again. If I had the money, I'd store up on a bunch of crap that I don't need yet, but I will need in the future, but I can't do that. So I gotta wait till I have money and order a little at a time. So right now, that's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna order some stuff. I'll get this video uploaded for you, so you at least know where we're at and what's going on. Have a good one.